YouTube, MrBeast shows how his advice helped a YouTuber earn almost $500,000. Which, by the way, we're actually gonna show the statistics that he put up to kind of prove that he actually did this. But it's actually pretty amazing, right? So let's get right into the story. Jimmy, MrBeast, recently showed a tweet where he aided a smaller YouTube channel in achieving astronomical growth. The channel, which already had $25,000 in revenue and 4.5 million views, grew far beyond that. The streamer showed a before and after comparison which revealed 45 million views and an estimated revenue of $403,154.48. Now, before we continue in the story, let's pull up his actual tweet, right? So, in the first image, right? 4.6 million views. The total watch time is 375.6 well, 375,000 and basically 60 or 600 whatever. Subscribers gained 6.7 thousand. Your estimated revenue $24,243.16. Now I believe this is a per month stat, right? So what they're doing this month. Then you go to the second image, 45.7 million views. The watch time is now 4.5 million hours. The subscribers are now over 143,000 gained within this time frame, and the estimated revenue is $403,154.48. Now, if you actually compare them, right? That's nearly like a 10 times growth rate in terms of the views, and also almost the watch time, right? You could just probably just round this up to like 4 roughly, and we could pretty much just round this down to 4 just to keep it simple. It's pretty close. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get too exact with it, but this is almost like a 10 times growth rate on nearly every aspect except for the revenue. The revenue, which I find interesting, is almost like 20 times the amount, which makes me really wonder what type of content did this individual actually make, right? Like this YouTube channel actually make. Because that is some pretty darn good stats, right? Now, that being said, I feel like they could do better in terms of revenue, right? I mean, the revenue is amazing. Like, if this is truly like a month later or a couple months later and it's a comparison, that's pretty amazing, right? Like, no matter who you are or what you do, this is some pretty crazy revenue. And what's interesting is MrBeast basically called this like a small YouTube channel, right? But the reality, if this is like a monthly thing, like $24,000 in a month ain't really small. Heck, $24,000 in a year isn't that bad. Especially if you're maybe not doing this full time and you get this per year on top of whatever you're doing from your day job. That's some pretty good money. But if it's for the year and he's ending up basically getting into almost nearly $500,000 now, and this isn't even the end of the year yet, who knows? This channel could easily pass $1 million in revenue, right? But let's continue in the story. So MrBeast showed off that his help led to nearly $500,000 of revenue. So Jimmy, one of the top talents on YouTube with 90 million plus followers, took some time out to counsel another content creator. By the way, this does not show the new content creator that he actually coached. So in just a single month, so in just a single month, this is literally 30 days later, basically, he got this channel from $25,000 in revenue to to about $400,000. That is some crazy stuff right there, right? So he actually 20x'd the revenue in 1 month. Like, imagine if you made 20 times what you were making this month next month. That's some crazy, that's crazy growth. That is crazy growth in terms of money, right? Because the reality of the situation, if people are like doing like YouTube for like a business, is that that is really the only thing that matters. How much money are you actually making from YouTube? Like, this is pretty crazy stuff. So Marquez Brownlee, one of the seems to be one of the nicest tech channels ever, puts sheesh, same volume of videos as a question towards MrBeast. And MrBeast says around the same, just much higher quality. So according to the content creator, the channel is producing the same amount of content but of higher quality than before, with a growth of around 10 times the amount of viewership and 16 times the estimated revenue. It is definitely an impressive turnaround. Many praised the content creator for what he did, but not everyone felt so thrilled about it. Again, this is like Twitter, so there's always going to be people hating on MrBeast for whatever reason. Like, I mean, like, think about it, right? If you literally had someone come into your life and be like, you know what? I'm going to coach you, I'm going to help you out, and I am literally going to increase how much money you make by 16 times in a single month. Like, why are people hating on that? Like, I don't understand that. Like, he went out of his way to help someone. He doesn't have to help anyone at all, right? Like, he doesn't have to help other YouTube channels. Like, he doesn't have to do that. And he literally changed the course of this content creator's life. Like, it's crazy. So here are some that like praised him for doing it. Nemo at aka Nemsco at MrBeast, you're kinda cool. Vast at Vast GG, MrBeast True King, FaZe J Smooth at MrBeast, are you taking more clients? And Ross, formerly of Game Grumps, asked what the content creator did to help increase the channel's growth as they were having problems growing their personal channel. So, MrBeast, honestly curious on what you advise. I've been getting a 30k to 45k sub increase per month, but my viewer retention percent watched has been all over the place. I find doing art content is a balancing act of how much process to show versus the real. Too many people skip. So the channel in question, Daily Dose of Internet, also talked about other statistics that were improved thanks to Jimmy. Now here's the thing, right? I don't believe that it's the Daily Dose of Internet because if you were to actually look at the stats of Daily Dose, he was getting hundreds of millions of views a month, right? I think he's like up to like I think 150 or something million views a month. So I don't know why this article like puts the Daily Dose as the one that did it, but no, it's not the Daily Dose of Internet. No. Like the Daily Dose of Internet is a massive 13 million plus meme channel that gets crazy amount of views. Which also, by the way, side note, apparently the one of the family members of Daily Dose of Internet is actually fighting in Ukraine right now. So I wish them the best over there because I found that pretty interesting in like my short research, right? Like it's actually like let me put this up, right? Let's see. So that people could see what I'm actually talking about, right? So search Twitter, Daily Dose of Internet, right? Because I found this very interesting when I was doing my research. Um, right here. The official Twitter page of Daily Dose of Internet. Over 13 million followers and growing. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so right here. And this was posted like 6 hours ago of this recording. I'm trying to convince my cousin in Ukraine to come to the USA, but he wants to fight. So, let's get right into this. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. Okay. Okay, you do not want to leave? Please let us know if you change your mind. We can take care of you and your family. And there you say, many thanks. I am very satisfied and really appreciate your suggestion. We will be together to the last, but if the situation worsens, I will send them out of the country, and my friends and I will fight for the freedom of our country. And of course, they post basically that they are very serious about defending their country. And I thought this was actually like a pretty cool side note to really comment on because it kind of goes to show you that you don't know who's really getting affected by the situation in Ukraine. You could have so many people in America being affected by Ukraine in like a very literal sense, in that their family members are being affected. But not only that, it leads to far more everyday issues that are going to come up. Like for those that end up having to like drive, you're already seeing the gas issue increasing. So just keep that in mind as well, right? So yeah, the Daily Dose of Internet also talked about other statistics that were improved. So Daily Dose basically put it out at MrBeast, and you helped me increase my audience retention from 65% to 86% per video. Thank you for giving back. Now, not everyone was so positive, seeing that amount of potential revenue as being far from a small YouTuber. So, Jarian is Jarian at MrBeast, in quotes, small YouTuber. Diddly at Diddly Donger at MrBeast. Dude was getting 4.6 million views and $24,000 a month beforehand. That's not a small YouTuber. LMAO. Nate Clayton at NateDog2022. At Diddly Dunger at MrBeast. I agree. I don't care for MrBeast. He loves boosting his ego. McNasty at MrBeast. I have almost 2 mil subs and I make less than the before picture, lol. Dude wasn't small by any means. The thing that people don't understand, the amount of money that you make on YouTube has nothing to do with how many subscribers you actually have. It's purely how many people view your videos. And not only that, like I checked out like the top like 10, 20 live chat donations on YouTube, right? Like the top like channels that had people super chat them, right? These live streamers, right, in this like category were donated millions of dollars by the fans of that channel, and a lot of them didn't even have 100 million views on their whole channel. Some of them didn't even have a million subscribers. Some of them only had a couple 100,000, if that, right? So the amount of revenue that a YouTube channel can generate has nothing, absolutely nothing to how many people are subscribed to you. And in fact, you could have a YouTube channel that doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers, so technically not even enough subscribers to actually earn ad revenue, that could still make a full-time living by doing other things. So that's also something to keep in mind as well. So eTechNix at eTechNix at MrBeast, all well and good, but they weren't small to start with, in all honesty. And other content creators bet that the content creator couldn't do what he did for their own channels. So Optic Hitch at Hitch a Ride at MrBeast, $20 bucks. See, I don't really get why people actually do this, right? Like they put the dollar sign in 20 and then bucks. You have to get rid of the dollar sign if you want to say 20 bucks, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, 20 bucks, you couldn't do this with a channel that just recently hit 108,000 subscribers. I personally bet that MrBeast probably could actually do that because you actually have the data on your channel that he could actually work with. Gingy at Gingy Hendrix at Hitch a Ride at MrBeast. Yeah, well, 30 says that he couldn't do that to my YouTube channel with 20 subscribers. Now that one would be a little bit harder to actually do. Static Panic at Static Panic at Jingy Hendrix at Hitch a Ride at MrBeast 40 says he couldn't do it for my 17 subs channel. So the topic of what is a small channel also came up in the thread, but what is small to one channel may not be for others. Killer6 at Killer6 at MrBeast, small YouTuber dude, there's some disconnect. Chipface at Chipface YouTube, legit I would class myself as a small YouTuber, only 379 subs. The Gavman at the Gavman, I mean compared to Beast Daily Dose is tiny. I think he just said small as a joke though. Oh well. So the conversation was an incredibly divisive one, with half of the users being proud of MrBeast for putting in that kind of work to help another content creator, while plenty more felt the channel he helped out could hardly be considered small. Right? And that's like just like an interesting thing to really check out. Now I do want to do a little bit back search, right? Because he did do this. Let's see. Ratio. Let's see. Show more replies. I just want to see if like Daily Dose's response, if I could actually see it. No. What, is there nothing else on there? Eh. Quote tweets. I don't know. You have to be logged into Twitter for that. But either way, it's still a pretty amazing feat when you really think about it, right? So feel free to give your thoughts. I think it's a pretty amazing thing to really think about. Now, again, there's no way that this is actually Daily Dose of Internet because, like, Daily Dose of Internet is pretty crazy. So, actually, you know what? Let me just pull this up. Social Blade, Daily Dose of Internet's YouTube stats, right? Just so people could actually see what I'm actually talking about, right? This channel has 350 uploads, right? Their video views are 3,631,948,843. Country of origin is US. The channel type is entertainment. Bum, 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 bum. According to Social Blade, the estimated monthly earnings is $33.8 thousand to $540.1 thousand, and their video views for the last 30 days 135.019 million views. Right? And if you look at this, yeah, I really don't think this is Daily Dose at all. At all. But it's pretty amazing because the thing to really understand about why we're even talking about the whole MrBeast thing is that this type of money is like a good example of potentially someone basically winning the lottery and having a massive inflow of cash that they've never experienced before. So how should they really handle that money, right? Like if this were to happen to you where for some reason you were able to increase your income next month by 16 times, guess what you need to do? Make sure you have no debt, make sure you have an emergency fund, make sure that you put money towards your investments, and live below your means and keep on doing what you're doing that is making you 6 times the amount of money. And the reason why you want to do all that in that order is because you want to be able to keep doing what you're actually doing to make all this kind of money. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40inbox.com. I thought this was just a really cool article to read.